So God is force and power. But what makes or put God in the position that he, she, or it in order to make them God? The ability to think. What is force and power and you can't think? That's what makes you great. That's what makes you powerful. Because what is it that they say? Brain over brawn. You have little skinny people, nerd-ass people, probably can't lift 10 pounds, but because of their brain power, they control. Look, perfect example. All these black men on the football field, 300 pounds, 250 pounds muscle, and this little nerd owner. These little nerd people can't lift no weights. They control the brawn. They have all these men with the brawn on this field, killing each other, smashing each other, and people in the stands cheering. Everybody controlled by a bunch of nerds. Can't do one push-up, but they have the brain power to control the power and the force. So what if you have force and power and a great intelligence, the ability of thought? We would be in bad shape if an elephant had hands and a bear had hands and crocodiles had hands and they could think. Because physically, we don't have nothing coming to them. Look at the hell you catch when we look at that movie, Planet of the Apes. Because apes are stronger than us. But in the Planet of the Apes, they have that intelligence. You don't have nothing coming. And I believe in the first Planet of the Apes, they turned the tide and made humans their pets, their animals. So the apes, they was just as sick as the humans, but that's probably where they learned it from when they came into power. There was a book I read back when I was a child. I forgot what it was called. I think it was called Animal Farm by George Orwell. And these animals was all upset because they were farm animals. And something happened to the farmer or whatever, and the animals came into power. And when it all said and done, they broke into their little divisions and cliques, and they turned into exactly what the farmer was. And this is what has happened to us. We've become the oppressor. We have the same mind as the oppressor. That's why I cannot embrace pro-blackness and Pan-Africanism, because when you listen to how you talk, you're not bringing evolution. You're not bringing nothing better to the human family. You just want to be the oppressor. You want to be the slave master. You want to be the slave owner. How is humanity going to evolve? How are we going to move forward when you're no better than the people that's in control right now? That's what we're not about that here. The power of God. So if what really makes you God is not only force and power, but the addition of thought gives you your power, or makes you God. So, what is thought? The only way we can have thought, we have to have a brain. We have to have an evolved brain, because the bear and the lion and the crocodile, they have a brain. They have force and they have power, but their brain, they don't have the ability to apply and to express that force and that power upon others or the earth. They cannot do it. You have to have a brain. Nothing exists without thought or thinking. You have to have a brain. There is no reality without the brain. The brain is the tool that we use in order for us to experience our reality. And even if you lose your sight, as long as your brain works, then the brain will take your senses, concentrate your senses on your taste, feel, and hearing. But you have to have a brain. It's about God is that which has force and power, but he who has the greatest ability to control their brain, the greatest brain development. Without thought, God does not exist. And where is the brain? The brain is in man. Where else can you get thought? There's no other place you can get thought from. The only place we know we can get thinking from is the brain. God is a title, that which has force and power. And man, with his brain, created God. Because the concept of God had to begin with a thought, which came from the human brain. God is force and power. God is a title. It is not a being. It's a label. It's not a supreme being. It's that which has force and power. The ability to control thought, that which has the greatest intelligence. So an alien could be God because they have a superior intelligence combined with their force and power. Matter of fact, it's their, not only physically, they might be physically already have force and power, but it is the brain, the ability, the greater intelligence that makes you God. Man create God. God does not create man. That's why God acts and thinks like men, because it's a creation of man's brain, and you don't know nothing else. So God is jealous. God is envious. God is a murderer. God has the attributes of man because God comes from man. And you give something invisible, you give something that you can't see, these attributes did not come from up out of the sky. They came from men, because the concept, this identity, this label of God came from the mind of men. It came from the human brain. Now, I could be off, but I really doubt it. You cannot show where something else is giving us any kind of thoughts from outer space, or some snake talked to you or crocodile talked to you yesterday. All these things come from the mind of human beings. God is a title. And what makes God and puts God on top of other human beings is that he or she has a superior intelligence over others. You could say that Michael Jordan probably is a god of basketball, because he had a skill. He had a thinking process. The way he looked at the game was superior to other people. Bruce Lee could be called the god of martial arts. He had a different way of looking at martial arts. It's about the intelligence. Force and power does not mean anything if you don't have intelligence. So you have earthquakes and you have hurricanes, which is force and power, but that's chaos. Earthquakes and hurricanes just drop and just crash and just do anything, all kinds of crazy stuff. But we have force and power in the Ukraine, guided by the intelligence of men. It's a whole different story. When you have missiles guided by men, direction guided by the human brain, the mind, you would have a messed up war if those missiles and these bombs were like earthquakes and tornadoes, just falling and crashing, no direction, just blowing up, tearing stuff up. So God is the ability to control force and power, a great intelligence. Now, the thing about your brain, our brain, let me find a picture here. Go to a different picture. Picture many of you have already seen, I'm pretty sure. All right.
And as always in parting, we wish you...
Come on and jam with us next week on these same stations, and you can bet the last money it's all going to be a stone gas, honey. I'm Don Cornelius, and as always in parting, we wish you love, peace, and soul.